Hi, I'm Ria. For 30 years, I've been the one who made Christmas happen in our family. The decorations, the food, the gifts, all of it fell on my shoulders, and I loved every minute. Until last year, when my son Marcus decided I wasn't welcome anymore. Mom, I need to talk to you about Christmas, Marcus said over coffee in early November. His wife Vanessa sat beside him, examining her manicure. I've already started planning. I found this recipe for a cranberry glazed ham That's actually what we want to discuss, Marcus interrupted, glancing at Vanessa. We're thinking of doing something different this year. Different how? I stirred my coffee, noticing how Vanessa wouldn't meet my eyes. We want to host at our new house, just a small gathering. That sounds lovely. I can bring my decorations over early and... No, Mom. Marcus cleared his throat. When I say small, I mean, well, we're just inviting Vanessa's family and a few friends from work. I set my cup down carefully. I don't understand. Vanessa finally spoke up. What Marcus is trying to say is that we want to establish our own traditions. Start fresh. Without me, I said flatly. Marcus sighed. It's not personal. How is uninviting your mother to Christmas not personal? My voice rose slightly. You're always taking over, Mom. The decorations have to be your way. The food has to be your recipes. Vanessa wants a chance to host her own Christmas. I've never insisted. You have, Vanessa cut in. Last year, you redid the table setting after I had already set it. I was just trying to help. Marcus reached for my hand. We don't want you at Christmas this year, Mom. We need space to create our own traditions. The words hit like a physical blow. 45 years of marriage, 30 years of Christmas mornings with my son, and now I wasn't wanted. I drove straight to my best friend Diane's house, tears blurring my vision. He said what? Diane exclaimed when I told her, slamming her teacup onto the saucer. That they don't want me at Christmas, that I take over everything. That's ridiculous. You're his mother. Vanessa says I'm controlling. I wiped my eyes. Am I controlling, Di? You're particular, Diane said carefully. But that doesn't mean they get to exclude you from Christmas. What did Tom say about this? Haven't told him yet. He's golfing with his brother. Diane took my hands. What are you going to do? What can I do? Force them to invite me? No, Diane said, a mischievous glint in her eye. But there's nothing stopping us from having our own Christmas celebration, one they'll wish they'd been invited to. What do you mean? I mean, Diane squeezed my hands, that maybe it's time to show Marcus and his precious Vanessa exactly what they're missing. Tom was livid when I told him. He said what to you? Our son? Keep your voice down, I pleaded. It's not the end of the world. The hell it isn't. I'm calling him right now. I grabbed his arm. No, don't. That'll just make things worse. Worse than uninviting his mother from Christmas? The woman who stayed up until 4 a.m. assembling that ridiculous spaceship toy he had to have when he was 8? I have another idea, I said, explaining Diane's suggestion about hosting our own celebration. Tom's eyes narrowed. I'm listening. Over the next week, I made calls. First to my sister Eleanor and her husband. Marcus did what? Eleanor practically shouted through the phone. That boy needs his head examined. So you'll come to our Christmas party instead? I asked. Wild horses couldn't drag me to Marcus and Vanessa's now. Count us in. Next was Tom's brother James and his wife Sophia. We already told Marcus we'd come to his place, James said hesitantly. Jim, Sophia interrupted. We're going to Ria and Tom's. Family loyalty matters. What about Marcus? He's family too. A family member who uninvites his mother from Christmas doesn't deserve loyalty, Sophia said firmly. We're coming to your party, Ria. The most difficult call was to my neighbor Grace, who had always been fond of Vanessa. I understand both sides, Grace said diplomatically. Vanessa probably feels intimidated by you. You've set the bar so high all these years. So that justifies excluding me completely? I didn't say that, but young couples need space to establish themselves. And what about mothers? Do we just disappear when we're inconvenient? Grace sighed. Of course not. Look, I'll be straight with you. Vanessa called me last week, invited us to their Christmas, said they were finally doing it their way. My stomach twisted. So she was planning this for a while. Seems that way. But Paul and I haven't accepted yet. And frankly, what they're doing to you isn't right. We'll come to your party instead. By the time I hung up, I was shaking with a mixture of hurt and determination. How's the guest list looking? Tom asked when he came home. Everyone's choosing us over them. I showed him my notebook. Diane and her husband, Eleanor and Richard, your brother and Sophia, Grace and Paul, plus the Hendersons from your office and the Millers from my book club. That's quite a crowd. Tom looked impressed. What about venue? Our house isn't big enough for all of them. Already solved. Diane's son owns that new restaurant downtown, Harvest. He's letting us use their private room for free. You've been busy? I'm just getting started, I replied, reaching for my phone as another idea struck me. I wonder if Marcus's old football coach still lives in town. The night of our Christmas party arrived. Harvest looked magnificent, decorated with twinkling lights and elegant greenery. Chef Daniel, Diane's son, had created a spectacular menu featuring everyone's favorites. This is incredible, Rhea, Eleanor said, admiring the room. Best Christmas party in years. Grace nodded. You've outdone yourself. And look how many people came. The room was packed. Not just with our invited guests, but with others who'd heard about our celebration. Neighbors, old friends from the community theater, even Marcus's favorite high school teacher, Mr. Blackwell. I couldn't believe it when Coach Peterson told me what happened, Mr. Blackwell said, shaking his head. Marcus was always such a thoughtful boy. People change, I said, surprised by the lack of pain in my voice. Surrounded by friends who had chosen to support me, the sting of Marcus's rejection had dulled. Midway through dinner, there was a commotion at the entrance. Marcus stood there, his face pale as he surveyed the crowd. Mom, he called, making his way toward me. What is this? Our Christmas party, Tom answered before I could. Since we weren't welcome at yours? Marcus looked around, recognition dawning as he spotted familiar faces. Coach Peterson? Mr. Blackwell? Aunt Eleanor? Hello, Marcus, Eleanor said coolly. I don't understand, he said, turning back to me. How did you pull together a better Christmas party than you could ever imagine? I finished for him. Turns out I'm not just good at taking over your parties. I can throw my own too. Can we talk privately? Marcus asked, his voice strained. We stepped into a small alcove near the kitchen. You did this to spite me, he accused. I did this because I was uninvited from Christmas by my own son and left with nowhere to go. That's not, we didn't mean, you said, and I quote, we don't want you at Christmas, Mom. How else was I supposed to take that? Vanessa felt overwhelmed by your expectations. Then she could have talked to me about it like an adult instead of having you ambush me with an uninvitation. I'm sorry, okay? I handled it badly. Yes, you did. So can we move past this? Maybe we could split Christmas. You come over in the morning and... I held up my hand. No. What do you mean, no? I mean, no, Marcus. I'm not interested in your half-hearted compromise offered only because you've realized everyone chose my party over yours. That's not fair. Neither was what you did to me. How many people showed up at your house tonight, Marcus? 5? 10? He looked away. Vanessa's parents couldn't make it. They had car trouble. How convenient. This isn't like you, Mom. You're not vindictive. And you weren't selfish and thoughtless until you were. His face darkened. This is all because I wanted one Christmas my way? No. This is because you broke my heart and didn't even realize you were doing it. You're being dramatic. Am I? How would you feel if 30 years from now, your child tells you they don't want you around for the holiday you've poured your heart into for decades? That's different. It's exactly the same. And one day you'll understand that... I turned to walk away. Marcus grabbed my arm. Don't walk away from me. You've turned everyone against us. Vanessa is sitting at home crying because no one came to our party. Several heads turned at his raised voice. Let go of your mother, Tom said, suddenly beside us. Stay out of this, Dad. Let go, now. Tom's voice was deadly quiet. Marcus released my arm, his face flushed with anger. Fine. Enjoy your victory party, but don't expect to hear from us again. Is that supposed to be a threat? I asked quietly. Because from where I'm standing, it sounds like a continuation of what you've already done. Cut me out of your life when I don't serve your purposes. The fallout from Christmas was swift and unexpected. After Marcus stormed out of our party, photos from the event flooded social media. It seemed everyone had captured the moment when Marcus grabbed my arm, his face contorted with anger while I remained calm. Have you seen Vanessa's Facebook post? Diane asked when she called the next morning. I don't follow her anymore, I admitted. She's claiming you deliberately sabotaged their Christmas, that you stole all their guests. By inviting my own friends and family to my own party? Logic isn't her strong suit, but people are calling her out in the comments. No one's buying it. 3 days after Christmas, Eleanor called. Vanessa's mother just phoned me. Why would Patricia call you? Apparently, the car trouble story was a lie. They chose not to go to Marcus and Vanessa's because they thought we'd all be there. Now they're furious at being misled. That's not my problem, I said. It gets better. Patricia said Vanessa admitted they excluded you because you make Christmas too perfect, and she couldn't compete. I laughed, despite myself. That might be the strangest complaint I've ever heard. A week later, Marcus showed up at our door. Can we talk? He asked, looking considerably humbler than the last time I'd seen him. You can talk, I replied, letting him in but not offering refreshments. Tom came in from the den, gave Marcus a cool nod, and sat beside me. I came to apologize, Marcus began. I handled everything wrong. Yes, you did. Vanessa and I have been fighting ever since Christmas. Her parents are barely speaking to her. Our friends keep asking why we excluded you. Actions have consequences, Tom commented. I know that now. Marcus looked at me pleadingly. Can we start over? Maybe have a late Christmas celebration, just the 4 of us? I studied my son, seeing both the boy I'd raised and the man who had hurt me deeply. No, Marcus. We can't just start over. Mom, please, I'm not finished. We can't erase what happened, but we can move forward. If you and Vanessa want a relationship with us, it needs to be based on mutual respect. I won't be discarded and then retrieved when convenient. What does that mean exactly? It means I expect an apology from both of you, not just because your party failed, but because you recognize the hurt you caused. It means we have a conversation, all 4 of us, about boundaries and expectations. And it means you understand that trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild. Marcus nodded slowly. That's fair. And I won't be coming to your house for any holidays this year. Maybe next year if things improve. Vanessa won't like that. That's for her to work through, Tom interjected. Your mother isn't a holiday decoration you can put up when it suits you. 2 days later, Diane and I sat in my kitchen, planning a weekend trip. So he apologized, Diane summarized. What now? Now we see if the apology translates to changed behavior. I sipped my tea. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm willing to give him the chance to prove himself. And Vanessa? She sent a text. Not quite an apology, but an acknowledgement at least. Progress, Diane nodded. And how are you feeling about all of it? I considered the question carefully. Stronger. I spent so many years trying to create perfect holidays for everyone else that I forgot I deserve consideration too. That party wasn't just about showing Marcus what he was missing. It was about reminding myself of my own worth. To Ria 2.0, Diane raised her cup in a toast. The woman who threw the Christmas party of the century. To setting boundaries. I clinked my cup against hers. And to friends who help you enforce them. Outside, snow began to fall, covering everything in a clean white blanket. A fresh start, but on my terms this time. Have you ever had to create your own celebration when excluded from a family event? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you turned disappointment into triumph.